NYPD. One of the young victims was the nephew of a New York City police lieutenant. Today, Commissioner...
This park has become an editorial hub for the world media covering this event here. And I just want to spin around here and show you, this is just a small portion of the amount of attention that is focused on Newtown, Connecticut today as we try to grapple with this incomprehensible loss. We're live in Newtown, Connecticut, Fairfield County. Lou Young, CBS 2 News.
All right, Lou, thank you so much. Still so many questions, so few answers, and the wait continues to find out why. Don and Cindy, back to you.
All right, Mary, thank you. One of the questions has been this account that we have heard that there may have been an altercation at the school just a day before the tragedy unfolded.
And here's what CBS News senior correspondent John Miller found out.
I spoke to a senior law enforcement source about that, and he said what we're focused on was there was some kind of argument between people in the office, and people in the office of that school are dead today. He said the key is to figure out if Lanza was part of that, present for it, or somehow involved. And he said right now they don't have any indication he was, but he said, you know, they have to run that out to make sure.
You're also learning more about the guns used in the shooting that belonged to Lanza's mother?
Well, yeah, and it's about the process, which is she had to go to an awful lot of trouble to get these guns. Connecticut has some of the toughest gun laws in the country. That meant going down to the state police, filling out the forms, getting fingerprinted, and then waiting to hear back that she was approved for a handgun permit. Then it meant going down to the store, getting an FBI background check, waiting for another period, and picking those weapons up. So it's not one of those things where you just show up with your driver's license and make a purchase. She made an affirmative effort to get these weapons, and as we learned from the landscaper, enjoyed shooting. We spoke to another relative who also said she was worried about the defense of her home. If there was a collapse of the economy, she wanted to have weapons on hand to defend them, which, of course, only underscores the irony that those were the guns used by her own child to kill her and so many others.
It's 8:45 on this Sunday morning, a community in mourning.
Not only did this person, kill our children, but he killed the beauty of this town.
This tragedy...
Much contact or any contact with this family. That's historical information that we need to ensure that we peel back like an onion. We're going to look at every single level of any contact that anyone had in any location, even in any state.
Have you found any suicide notes, any kind of notes of any kind? I understand there were a couple of computers that you may have recovered that had been smashed. What can you tell us about that?
Well, I think what's important is that, first of all, I can't discuss the content. It would be counterproductive, but I can tell you that, any electronic equipment was seized, any kind of writings, any kind of evidentiary material or anything of any value, and each individual thing will be analyzed. And really our goal here is to paint a picture. We're going to paint a picture, and we're going to try to answer every single question as to how and why this occurred.
Why did this young man's mother have 3 guns? Was she a gun collector? Was she a member of some club? I mean, have you found any information about that?
We have. We've been working with federal authorities, ATF and others, and we've been able to begin the process of not only tracing the weapons, but going back to their origin, to their manufacture locale, any transfer that may have occurred, any purchase of ammunition, any attempts to purchase any other weapons or ammunition. We're looking at that whole big picture surrounding all this weaponry and any other weaponry that may, in fact, be effective on this case.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Lieutenant. We wish you well in your search. We want to go now to the 2 correspondents who've been our lead reporters on this, John Miller in New York and Bob Orr here in Washington. John, let me ask you some of the same questions that I just asked the lieutenant. Are your sources giving you any more information on what they may have found here than the lieutenant was able to tell us about?
Well, they're going through that now, and I think when you listen to Paul Vance, who is a very excellent and professional spokesperson, he knows where the lines are.
I think his name is Lieutenant
Steve
Vance.
They have a lot of material, and they're going through it, and there are a lot of clues in there, but they haven't gotten to anything that jumps out at them and says, okay, this is the why. What they're doing is putting together a number of puzzle pieces to say, do all these add up together to give us what might be a why? So you've got all the journals and books and papers or whatever they could find at the house. Bob will get into the computers, but aside from any physical computers, say a laptop or a desktop, The other thing they've done is they have subpoenaed all of the mother's email accounts, all of the son's email accounts. And when you subpoena that from the provider, whether that's MSN or Yahoo or iCloud, whoever it is, they give you a disk, and that contains all of the sent mail, all of the received mail, all of the mail that is in draft folders, and over a great deal of time. So that's why this takes time to pull together. They're going to read through all of those messages and see if they come together with one or more themes that get them to the what could be behind this.
Bob Orr, his mother owned these 3 guns, including this assault weapon. What do we know about his family life? I mean, was she a gun collector?
Seems that she was, Bob. She had a number of weapons. And Connecticut has very tough gun laws. So she crossed all the T's, dotted all the I's, followed the letter of the law. She was an avid sporting enthusiast. People that had known her and over the last several years said she regularly went to gun ranges, practiced shooting, sometimes took her children with her. These were sophisticated and in many cases expensive weapons, which she apparently maintained very well. The problem in this particular case is you had a cache of weapons readily available to a young man who, by all accounts, was kind of a recluse, a loner, kind of an antisocial personality. And I think that was a toxic mix.
In the beginning, of course, we were told that his mother was a school teacher or she had some connection with the school. I guess the latest is that she had no connection, John, that we know of. Why do we